I'll be here. I'll be here. It's alright. Sorry, there's only two teams. Only two teams. Only two teams before us.
DC? Yeah. Have you heard of the company called Tadhack? They're mostly involved with oil, gas, water engineering projects. It's based in Canada. My American colleague. You want to have dinner?
That's good.
Yeah, no, good luck.
Appreciate it. Because they have something they want to change and upload.
No, but today I should get a spreadsheet. You know what?
Yeah, right.
Just done doing work.
Everybody's pretty on that. Taking it very
It was my first hack, so I went to one in the States. There was a lot of people, but it was very informal. It was very like, you didn't feel part of it.
Right.
And it was nice to hear the idea.
Okay, good. This is bigger, way bigger.
Yeah, it was bigger, but it didn't feel weird. I liked it, but this was because I normally went to pitch.
Cool. That's cool.
And so the global teams, global judges can watch North Lake. I was planning to basically focus on the right-hand side of the group for presenting. I'm my right, your left. So most of, probably just work off this screen most of the time. It'll be up on the other screen as well, but that's mostly for the people stuck on the end here who can't see as well, or have me standing here blocking what's going on. So we work towards this screen and probably come and sit down over this side. I know this has kind of become like the judging panel here, but don't worry, they're not scary. You can't bribe them with beers though, because they know they're in the kitchen. So feel free to come over here and grab a seat, because we're going to be working off this screen anyway, so it's going to be much easier to sit down here to actually see what's going on. Otherwise, you know, this block of chairs here, this front row is not too bad. I'm going to sit down soon, so it won't be me looming over you. So grab a seat wherever. I see most of you have managed to get yourself some beer or wine as well. I hope you're not sort of drinking that to sort of build up some courage and calm nerves. You don't need that. You know, drink that because you've deserved it. You know, I've been wandering around seeing all the stuff that you've been doing, and it's been a lot of amazing stuff happening. I chatted to a lot of groups with really, really amazing ideas that then when I went to chat with them 2 hours later were totally different amazing ideas. So that was great. It was really interesting seeing everything evolve and seeing everyone sort of knuckle down and finalize that approach there. Because I was really sort of really heavily involved with most of the groups at the start of yesterday, going over pitch, going over ideas, going over different stuff like that, I've excused myself from judging. So for judging, we're handing over to our illustrious group over here. You've probably sort of gone and chatted to Pat while he's been outside, but he's been pretty hands-off from the ideas. I think he had much more interesting stuff that he was playing with, so this is going to be fresh for a lot of those as well. Daniel and Cam were judging as well, and they came around and gave some pitch advice earlier, so hopefully you're listening, probably valuable for that one. And who else have we got from Telstra that's judging? And Nishant, who's hiding on the end there. I thought we had this judging panel in here, and Chris on the end there threw me. So yeah, happy to hear from there. So when you're presenting, don't forget that Nishant is over that side as well. So I'll defer to Cameron for going through the order of the pitches. I don't know if you guys were consulted or if it'll be a random surprise when you discover you're up first. So who are we introducing?
Alright, un momento per favore. Okay, first team, EzyHealth presenting. Team EzyHealth, if you'd...
EzyHealth? Cool. So, the logistics for audio and visual. We've got HDMI and VGA here. There's a few people who are using Macs trying to do other stuff. We're testing it before, so hopefully that's okay. If you need an adapter on the fly, I hope you brought one or just ask around. There's enough people with MacBooks here that there's probably one kicking around. I know at least one group will have audio-visual issues, not from testing, just from laws of large numbers. So that's okay. We won't hold it against you if you didn't test with the AV stuff. We were kind of holding it the last couple of days anyway. So probably jump over here. We've got a bit of length, so maybe HDMI or.
Yeah.
So when you're presenting, probably work from this side because HDMI port's a little bit finicky. So I'll try to make sure everything still stays happy on this end, but take care of cables. Oh, it blinked. Tell me if you see anything on screen. Yep. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So that one's a little bit. So walk around that way just because that way we get to avoid all the cable that's hiding there.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously all of you guys want to pitch because you're really proud of all the things that you've put together as well, but with pitches comes prizes, and so there's a few eligibility criteria for those prizes. So just at the start, when you go to pitch, if you're using global sponsor technology, yell out which ones. If you're addressing one of the challenges for the location, so one of the 3 that was on the Tadhack Melbourne side that was put forward by Oracle, just let us know which challenge that's addressing, such that we know how to judge it. Cool. Thanks, guys. I'll pass over to Team EzyHealth.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, our team will address a solution for challenge number 1. Firstly, let us be thankful for our existence in this room, that we are blessed with healthiness and approval by others in our society. Firstly, give a time and place yourself as if you are suffering from a devastating illness. You will suffer a lack of self-confidence and sense of companionship in the community, especially when you live in rural areas. With lack of information and education about your current disease and development of the medication for a certain disease, so EzyHealth's gonna provide kind of a one-stop solution for that conditions. Now meet Jane. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at 9 years old. Living in a small town, she found getting around and making friends much harder after his disease. And how does EzyHealth benefit Jane? I'm gonna pass it to my friend Simani.
Hi guys. So for the many features that we have in EzyHealth, so for the first feature we have is EzyDoctor, which is basically a platform where we allow patients and doctors to kind of connect with each other through live consultation. So there's also a feature where you can book an appointment with the doctor actually, and using videos or iOS technology, we can connect people, we can connect doctors and patients through video calls and stuff like that. So EzyChat is also another platform where we enable patients to chat with other patients who have similar diseases, or that people who have gone through their disease before maybe can provide like advice, or how they went through the disease as well. This gives patients empathy, as well as, because if you were to put yourself in their shoes, you can't really picture their condition because you haven't been through the disease as well. So we believe that by connecting patients with other patients with similar diseases, they can kind of create a focus group that can kind of like help them go through the disease together. And this is done by we are using Matrix's resources for check functionality. For EC Locator, this function is basically is to locate hospitals nearby you. So using the Google geolocation API, we are able to locate hospitals around you, and there are many filters around it. So you'll be able to filter out different hospitals around you. So as we go to the interface, so this will be the login page of our app, and once you log in, you will. So this will be the. So this will be the home page where you this is a general view or plan of the app. So if you click on the menu, and we go to EzyDoctor. So as you can see, there will be different live rooms for different doctors. They will be able to give you different consultation hours, or different events for different stuff for doctors. So if you were to click on one of them, and using video.io. Yep, so over there they will be able to connect to our voluntary doctor if it works. Yep, over there.
Maybe mute your line.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the video feature, and then on to the next one. We have EzyChat. So this is so you'll be able to actually see patients around you as well, and you can adjust how far you want to be able to talk to. So it's kind of inspired by Tinder a little bit, but yeah. As you can see, and then if you were to check your messages, you'll be able to see chat windows and all of that basic stuff. So finally, EzyLocator. So this is the Google Maps one where you are able to kind of find hospitals near you, and as you can see, there are different filters to be able to find different hospitals around you. Now I'd like to pass this presentation to my friend Mani. He will explain the rest of the features.
Hello everyone. So next in our list of features we have EzyEducator. What EzyEducator is, it's a medium for the less fortunate or the unhealthy children to learn more about different aspects of their diseases, of their conditions. So through EzyEducator they can watch videos about specific things, learn more about current research in their field, so on and so forth. EzyFunds is essentially a fundraising platform so that outsiders, strangers essentially can donate funds to those children in need. It might be something similar to GoFundMe, where a patient can set up a profile and so on and so forth, and people could read the profile and further donate to their cause. Emergency button. So all throughout our application, we have an emergency button. The functionality of this is to alert emergency services. So it's not only to hospitals, it could also be linked to a nominated family member. And they could be alerted if, for example, the patient is feeling unwell or a sudden heart attack, for example. So they could just click the button and services will be coming through them. Next, we have Gavin to explain. Oh, sorry. So here's the interface for our EzyEducator. As you can see, we can choose the specific diseases. So in our previous example of Jane, we could choose perhaps cancer and watch the videos, innovations, so on and so forth. EzyFund is we can observe how much contributions has been made, the total amount, specific campaigns. So for example, Jane in campaign 1, somebody else, and we're just continuing updating this. Finally, EzyBook is an interface to book specific doctors' consultations according to their specific requirements. The emergency button on the top right is to alert an ambulance or a family member, as I mentioned earlier. That should be all. And now I'll pass it on to Gavin to explain further.
So this is going to be the page for the user detail, showing the personal information, the assigned doctor, medical records, upcoming booking, general information, and the contributions to the certain cause. So EzyHealth provides you with certain sense of existency, even though you're suffering from a really devastating illness. So why don't you try EzyHealth?
Thank you.
So thanks, EzyHealth. I think we're sort of right on the cusp there, so I probably should have mentioned, I was mentioning the other ones before. So we're looking for sort of 5 to 10 minute pitch times. That was sort of sitting close to 10 minutes, but we've still got time for a couple of questions if anyone's got queries they want to direct to these guys or comment.
How long do you think it would take for you to develop this application into something you can take out?
In terms of the things, because this platform is kind of a crowdsourcing where people, let's say the not-for-profit organizations put into accounts the campaign and some sort of stuff. So it should be around like 6 months to be kind of fully developed, something like that. Yeah, 6 months. Maybe another question or queries that we need to clarify.
What were the challenges you faced through your journey over the last 2 days?
Sorry, beg your pardon?
What were the challenges you faced over your journey while you were imagining this platform and then working with the technologies to create your proof of concept?
Well, for starters, since this is our first hackathon, we really had no idea what to expect and what to kind of come up with. So we had initially when we read the challenge, we didn't know what to consider, but over time we kind of listed out everything, and then from there we kind of narrowed it down to the few features that we have. And also we had to consider a lot of like for the technology actually, because we we had initially a bit of trouble trying to integrate the technology with the app itself, but as time went by, we kind of like made everything like gel well together. So yeah.
Terrific.
Anything else?
I think we're good. Excellent work, guys. Team ComNect up next.
ComNect is our other. These guys actually started as one team, and then sort of I think they had too many good ideas, and so ended up splintering off into 2 teams, each kind of pursuing their own thing. Hope there was sort of no bad blood there, but given you a voluntary doctor for the EzyHealth team, I presume you're still doing okay. So yeah, as I mentioned before, just come around from this side because otherwise the cables are also all sorts of fun. You guys are. This one. This one's really long, so it's probably easiest to run it from the edge, from the corner there, because that way you can present and easily walk across it. Happening? No? Okay, maybe laws of large numbers and laws of actually quite small numbers. Cool, we're good. So just be careful with that one there. Okay, so Team ComNect.
So good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm part of the team of ComNect, or we can say Communities Connect. So where our aim for this today's presentation is to for connecting communities together. And before further explanation, I would like to thank sponsors and everyone that have joined today's presentation. So we really want to develop this website because some sort of problems like individuals has no reliable IT infrastructures to connect with communities at the same interest. Like they have no platform for them to join together, and for rural and urban areas, they're like 2 separate worlds for nowadays. And today we want to combine them together And yeah, my friend Nicholas will explain for the application we made.
So our solution to this is our website, which is also, you can access it from any device, so mobile or computer. Our website here connects individuals to communities with the same interests and same location. Our website does this by taking your location in the sign up, and it will compare it with individuals, and it will suggest them to you. So the example here is if we sign up, here is our and we will name ourselves Will and here you can enter your location and select your main three interests here, and with the location it will then compare it with the other people who have signed up to. So here is the home page, and as you can see, those four profiles are other people who have signed up to our website, and it has where they live, so it compares the location and it suggests them to you, so they have the same interest and they are close by. So your communities are the three main interests that you have. So if we go into soccer, so here as the person, we would go into, they would choose their community, and we provide motivations or information of matches and dates. So at the top left there, it's news for soccer, maybe matches, information, new, I guess, team selections. There's also calendars for match dates and whatnot. And if we go back home, it would be the same with photography and science. So here we have selections of what news you would like to get, and it also has a chat feature, so you can chat to other people with the same interests, and it will talk to you about how, well, you can chat with them, maybe meet up with them if you want to take pictures, I guess, or you want advice. If we go back home, here in the chat, this is a main chat, so you can talk with anyone you want, you know, maybe meet up with the same location, maybe talk to the people that our website has provided. And yeah.
So as my friend explained it just now, we use video.io, Tadhack and Oracle, and for like video.io we use for like the group chat, we use this video.io as a platform, Tadhack for our messenger, and Oracle for our database systems. Next please. So we aim this website is for every demographic conditions, like for youngsters, teenagers, and old age groups, but we tend to more onto teenagers and like sporting groups, so that they can meet up together, because like for this is for like finding hobbies. They can find, teenagers can find their hobbies to our website. So to wrap up today's presentation, I would like to say about this website is like a combination between our similar websites like Facebook and Reddit, but Facebook are two more general, and Reddit is two more communities, but they can chat interpersonally. So we're combining this Facebook and Reddit into together, and ComNect is your best answer. So thanks for listening.
So thanks, ComNect. Sort of as before, if anyone wants to ask questions, otherwise I'll throw over to our judges.
Do you guys have any plans to carry this forward post today's event?
So this is just for development. We made website, but for the next we're gonna make true applications for handphones so that it will be easier for people to access it. So from homes and from phones, so they can use it all together.
Fantastic. Sounds like your team were addressing challenge number 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Any questions?
With the content around the different categories, is that something that there is an admin updating that? Like your fixtures for your soccer, is it something where the community's updating all the information?
Maybe for the next updates, we can, like from people, they can suggest something more to our, and we are the admins for, like, we update every day, every daily, every second, so that our website is more to like a dynamic changing.
In terms of sort of revenue generation, how are you making money to actually fund the
So
actual
we are
page?
like not unto profit. We're a non-profit organization company, but maybe donations may be held for like for this website to go furthermore. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. So up next we have the Banana Exchange group. So whenever they were hiding over in the room over at the far side, and whenever I went in there was more and more elaborate things happening on their whiteboard. So I'm really interested to see how those whiteboard drawings have sort of manifested themselves in, but first their presentation as well as the demonstration that we're going to see from them. So Banana Exchange. Not sure if bananas are actually involved.
Did we lose a member as well?
I think we swapped the member out. Yes, one of them. Well, we have actually 2 members actually remotely supporting us.
Ah,
yes.
cool. Very cool.
Offshore, or like down the street.
She's doing the video IO. Yeah. And the other person is actually doing the medical information.
So as we go on in your introduction, make sure you're addressing these are the global sponsors whose technology we're using, as well as if you're addressing one of the local challenges. Make sure you're calling those out. Yeah, we threw a fake HDMI in to fool everyone. So it's a fake one. I'm not sure where this one lives, but it can live over here. Total this until it turns green, but I don't know if you need to change it on your end. Okay, we're good. Hopefully it pops up, but you're there you go. Oh, yeah. All right.
This is Ask Your Doctor, right way to telemedicine solution. So this is about providing support in the remotely for Victorians. Yeah, so what we're doing, what we're doing is Victoria here, in rural and regional Victoria. It can be quite difficult to see a doctor, so maybe 8 to 8 weeks to queue to see the GP, and 4 hours to travel to medical scene. Yeah, so for specific chronic illness and conditions, we just need to provide the telemedicine services for the patient. Yes, meet Jono. So this is a person someone who lives in Toowong, regional Victoria, and who doesn't have a place in the city near him, the doctors. There's no long waiting time to service. So that's our end goal, basically. Communication channel to filter and shorten medical queue times for patients. So at least what I just told you before, yeah, and that. So the MVP, the artificial intelligence chatbots, can do diagnosis and then scheduling if doctors require the patient's the doctor appointments. The patient can keep going and see it for themselves online. Telemedicine consultation through video, which may involve more than one medical practitioner.
All right, from the technical perspective, we've got the system architecture on the front end. We use Telstra. We try to use as much as sponsor as we can because we are hoping to win one of the prizes. And SMS via Telstra, chat messenger, we have Telegram in this instance, Google Home voice chat, and of course video teleconferencing via mobile app or web. And on the doctor side of things, we're going to expect the doctors to be comfortable enough to speak remotely through the video teleconferencing. On the backend infrastructure, we are going to build AI bot using Phonica and Telegram API, basically running Python. Solid Telstra mobile phone networks is the biggest and the most reliable. And video.io services. And of course, Oracle data sources for the medical services providers directory and medical records update. And then the proposed application outline is basically we got the generic sort of a broad view patient interaction with the system. So the patient will have a tablet PC, and both will run a chat app that will connect to the video IO Telstra and my health record. So basically, the chat app is the one that will connect the right medical providers for the existing and specific condition of the patient. So the user interfaces that we provided today is we can log a complaint through the Telstra messaging API, make an appointment using Phonica, and video conference with the doctor with video. So an example of the UX is that we have the like that. So hi there, this is Pam, personal medical assistant. May I start with your name, please? This is Jono, I got asthma. And then how many days have you got it for? Have you taken any medicine? So the reply would be yes. For about 3 days, Fentanyl pub. And then where do you live? Toowong Regional Victoria. And then based on that location, it will search the next available appointment with the doctor. So the next one will be Wednesday at 10 a.m. Accept yes or no. It's a simple texting back yes or no. Once the patient and doctors both accept the invite, then it will send an invite by an email or another text. So it will simply give a link with some kind of ID. And we also have an alternative to the SMS. The other form of it is through the Telegram chatbot, where you can actually elaborate more stuff and add multimedia and things like that. So for instance, in this case, the nearest available doctor is St. Kilda Road Medical Center, and you can click on that to give you a preview of the actual how it looks like. So the demo, we have a real doctor and a real patient over here.
Officially signed.
But Telegram web is basically like when you say hello, it will reply back to you with an actual name, and then if I want to make a complaint about symptom, headache for instance, if I can spell symptom correctly, then it will look for a remote doctor, and then if I want to locate doctor. So I will find, I forgot my own command, so I better go to help. So I can go for nearest doctor. So the nearest doctor will ask for the current location. So if I want to share the current location, I press yes, and it will send that we are in the corner of Tadhack Road and Circular Road, and it will calculate the nearest doctors based on the current location based on JSON provided by Oracle. And you can also start video. If you start a video making calls, which doctor you want to connect. So if it's really emergency, then you better dial 000. But if it's not that bad, then you can go to Alfred and say, okay, please connect me to Alfred, and then I'll give you a link to that doctor, and I want to make a phone call to that doctor, and here comes the real doctor, or she's the real doctor, or I will be the patient over here. Yeah, so basically we need the, sorry, a couple more.
Security.
It's too secure, yeah, too secure. All right, here we are. All right, I'll leave it up to you guys.
What I can do to make this a little bit better, because it's looking strange on these screens. Stop your big silhouette up there.
Doctor.
Hello, how can I help you?
I have just been, I've been talking to the chatbot, and they refer me to you. They send me a message through the Telstra API, and I get this link, so I just come and see you.
Okay, thank you. That would be good. Yeah, so can you come in on Monday?
Okay, sure.
All right, so we proved that the technology works as advertised. All right, so back to that slide show that the business values or the key benefits of having our technology is that, first of all, we don't need the extra mobile app, so we don't need to develop a new mobile device which could take up to 6 months to test and deploy that. And it will essentially shorten the waiting period by 3 weeks, because you can see a doctor almost on a next day kind of basis. No need to travel up to 4 hours, because the actual service for diagnosis is done remotely. Avoid unnecessary hospital admission, and cut down potentially government spending on public health by at least 15%. So our motto is healthier patients, happier doctors, and wealthier government. All right, so the competition is from our own supplier, which is EzyHealth. I didn't realize that. I browsed that. Okay, EzyHealth actually is a sub-product for the actual video solution, especially for telemedicine. Reliable one too, but we are going to compete with them because we are going to add extra values. Combination of different services like Google, Skype, myhealthrecords.com.au, but nothing as integrated as ours. Scalability factor, we go back this scalability factor. 90% of Australian population are using a mobile phone. Knowledge domains can be added, and deployment is more on service providers, which maybe only take 3 months instead of the 6 months to deploy on clients, because we only deploy on the service providers. We can also potentially repurpose that to solve other problems like the education, like virtual classroom for regional students, for indigenous people, for instance. Next. And other potential features, in terms of scalability, we can expand this to add more stuff like the drone transported drugs, digital prescription by email, sent to pharmacy, instructional treatment, like if you hurt your ankle, instead of seeing a doctor, you can just receive an instruction for that. And last, very potential vendors, video, we've been using it, we prove it works very well, require very low bandwidth. The Telstra SMS API, we prove it works as well, it's awesome. Epiphonica, we can integrate it with the Python chatbot. So if you could really fund our project, we'll be showered with money, but at least we can expect for to win the grand prize for today's show. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I have a question. We had a drone out in the other room yesterday, and you're saying drone delivered drugs. I don't see a drone delivered drugs.
It's a potential feature that can be embedded with our existing technology. So for instance, if you know your location and you send your location, your drone should be able to map where we are and being able to transport.
I'll let you liaise with Patrick to get that happening there.
We're open for partnership as well.
Yes.
So, how did you listed Apiofonica as one of the things in there? How did that feature into your technology mix?
So, in terms of the chatbot itself, we've been using the Telegram as well as Telstra, but Apiofonica has the same feature, but it's more expandable because we can actually deploy it and interact with the Python bot. We have a Telegram bot written using Python, but Apiofonica enables the interaction regardless of platform. It can send different messages to different channels.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of it.
Cool.
How long did it take you to write that bot? I found it quite cool that it was able to pinpoint the location.
Oh, it's very quick. I did it overnight. Well, I didn't have so much sleep last night, but I've got the basic structure beforehand, and it's based on template. So I downloaded the template and modified the location, so it calculates the longitude and latitude location of medical services compared to my service, and there's a formula for it to calculate the kilometers. So it's not that hard.
So before you go, I just want to say that we actually have 5 members, but the other 2 members actually remotely support us. And Basu is actually doing this the video I/O for us, so remotely. And basically, Vincent also support us with all this medical records information. So I just want to thank them on behalf of the team.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cool. So, following up next from Banana Exchange is Roya.
I don't really have any fun anecdotes about these guys, except when I came in there at sort of 11 this morning to be like, hey, you want to like go over your pitch? They're like, oh, we're too busy building stuff. And then they shoot me away. So I'm looking forward to seeing what was built out of that. If we can get a bit harsh. That's okay, I've been on the other side of it, so I know what the feeling is when you're like, okay, you can see the deadline creeping up, and you know you have to show this. So it's totally okay. I get it. The green light's on over there, so hopefully.
I think it's coming.
I don't know if you need to extend that, or we can unplug and replug or something.
I think it's detecting something because I lost my screen.
Well, I just unplugged and replugged, so.
Nice. I think we are the group.
So I went off VGA yesterday. It was great.
Coming?
Yep.
So as before, just let us know if you which location challenges you're tackling and which technologies you are trying to use.
Okay. So maybe I have to start with the introduction group, and then I have to talk about the challenge. So this is Ali. I'm one of the members of RT Lab in Swinburne University. I'm project lead there. And these guys that you see here were previously were my students when I was back then when I was in RMIT. So I started to progressively select them based on their capabilities and smartness. And today we are going to tackle, at the beginning we wanted to tackle a second challenge, and then we found out that challenges are somehow related to each other, because we are thinking about a way to solve the limitations that we have accessing the content, which actually exist in all the challenges. So we are more precisely focusing on the second challenge, and a little bit first challenge, and a little bit the third challenge as well, the local challenge. And in terms of global challenge, we are using video API. So I invite Alex to describe our project.
Chris time. So does anyone actually know how many people have colour blindness?
Most men.
Right. So it comes up to a total of 1.9 million just in Australia alone, and 8% of those is men, and 0.4% is just women. So you can see here that the most common one is red-green colour blindness, so they kind of see them in the same shade, and yeah. Anyone know how many people suffer from loss of vision? Census says around 357,000 Australians, and you can see that that goes anywhere from just a slight loss of vision all the way down to legally blind. How about those with hardness of hearing? That should be about 4 million Australians, so that's about 1 in 6 people, and anyone here could have any one of these conditions. So what we aim to do is just give no limitations for people with limitations. What we do at Roya is we mainly aim to bridge the gap in communities, whether that be city, urban, or just mainly rural areas. They can be anything in general, from like football clubs all the way down to maybe if you want to help those volunteers for not-for-profit organisations, connect more with children when they give their time up, so the children can kind of reach out and maybe see videos that they've posted and stuff, so they can watch the videos whenever they want, when they need that help. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, team member Sean with me, or explain how will we accomplish it?
Over here. Okay. Before we start, actually, I think it's important to mention that with all of our use cases, what we're aiming for is we want everybody to be able to experience the same content without being barred from it because of their limitations, whether it be hardness of hearing, whether it's poor eyesight, anything else like that. At the moment, we're only looking at hardness of hearing and poor eyesight because we only had 2 days. So, start the video here. Sorry, what's that? This is where it is. So, in this video here, what we're going to see is we're going to see a small sensor on the elevator there, right over there, and it acts as a proximity sensor. So it'll funnel content straight to your phone using our platform. So if we start the video here, you'll soon find that our friend Alex will walk out of the elevator because he was late for the Tadhack. And actually was this morning. It's actually very poor form. As you can see, oh, look at that. It's a text message from our platform. And he found a video of everything he missed so far, and it has everything that he needs to experience the video fully. Right now it's just YouTube, but obviously if we had actually more than 2 days, we would fully implement it.
Okay, and also I have to add, the way that we see it is a kind of a spatial temporal kind of service that when you enter any particular location and there are video and contents related to that particular location or context that you are in, and you want to have them because maybe because of some limitations you are slower, maybe because of the limitations you are a bit later, or you have some problem in terms of receiving them. So if there is a sensor like those Bluetooth off-the-shelf sensors that one is particularly from a Spanish company, and if I'm correct, which is actually, what it does is very simple. It just tells you how far you are from that particular location by using your mobile phone. So by putting those, and they are like around $15, $17 in Australia, so you can know that what is the exact location that you are, and we can give you services like the video contents that you can see.
That's it. In the second use case, business that's me, and there's Alex over there having a video chat, but Alex actually has a form of color blindness. So by using Video's API, what we've done is we've actually slightly intercepted the stream so that we can apply whatever filter or whatever extra support a user might need. I'm not going to talk too much about that because it's not my expertise, but if sort of here, as you can
so
see.
what I can add here is this is the second approach, the second use case that we have, and in this use case, what we do is we try to understand the limitation of the person. Like we didn't include the UI of the mobile app that we have, so we have a UI that you can select the colors, and by selecting the colors, we can know that you are blind to some particular colors, and we try to replace them. And with the discussion that we had with the video API, what we're trying to do, we are collecting the data, the raw data from the video, we process them, and we replace the colors. The second use case that we wanted to have, and we didn't have time to finish it, was the subtitles. What will happen if you have limitation in terms of hearing and you can use the subtitles? So we have an engine that will add the subtitle to the video on the fly.
Sorry to interrupt, we're at about 6
Sure.
minutes 30, so.
It's all good.
Sure.
Thanks.
No.
This is the third use case. What we've done here is we've actually integrated our platform with extra data and extra sensors like you might receive from a smartwatch, say. In this case, Sonia is actually exceeding the recommended heart rate. So if you're
so this is the third use case that we have, and here what we're trying to do is a kind of IoT approach that we want to try to collect data from the person. Here what we're collecting is just see it as a heart rate, as simple as heart rate, and Sonia is doing some exercise and we're collecting the data, and we know based on the location and based on the heart rate, she's not doing that properly, and this is the way that we are trying to react to that. So this is, in terms of the scope and the time of the hackathon, this is what we could implement and demonstrate in 2 days. And June and Sonia are going to briefly talk about the platform, and they're here to answer your questions if you have any.
Okay, mainly we can see actually we divide 3 different parts to our framework. The first one is the sensor and their management system. And then we will have our own Roya platform to cooperate with different third-party cloud platform to make our service more easier. And then we, of course, we need to have the third-party service can provide us a very powerful and flexible ability to solve or to achieve our goal. So mainly our platform is to cooperate with different platforms, and that's why we need a really powerful cloud platform to help us to do this, like Oracle. And mainly we will have machine learning inside. For example, what we did is like we need to detect whether you have a disability. And we also need to know your location or store your location or analysis your location and give you some response. And what response we can give is like, for example, you are talking with your friends outside on the street. Maybe you watch someone dancing on the street, you want to show this video. It's not that secure. So you can send the video directly to them. But when in my office room, I want to chat with my boss. Of course, the text need to be secure. I don't want any other to disclose my message.
Thank you. Sonia, can you please explain?
And our platform can communicate with people through the textual messaging API. So platform can send the SMS message to the end user when they don't have internet connection.
Okay, so just to conclude, what we did is we tried to propose a platform that is small in terms of the proof of concept, but can be extended in terms of future directions. And we started to use some capabilities and learn how we can extend the current products and API that we have around us. And I have to say thank you for the opportunity as well. Thank you. If you have any questions, I think he's not here, so if you have any questions.
I figured I was training people to ask questions.
In terms of getting the application running, how did you go with that?
Well, what do you mean? Which part of the application?
Like you've shown us a couple of slides. Did you actually get a working prototype running?
Yes. So in terms of, you mean the scope of the implementation we have?
Yeah.
Right. So the problem that we had, we started to integrate the API that you provided to us. But the problem that we had was you don't have the part of the API that we can access to the raw data in the Java implementation. At least you don't have the documentation. So we didn't have any other choice to switch to C, which was a bit late. It was around like midnight last night, and we couldn't switch to that one. So what we did for the prototype, we tried to collect the video and regenerate another video out of it and send it back to the next one, which is not real time. Yeah.
Was that to pick out the color characteristics of the video in order to adjust it?
Yes, yes. But we are also dummy and agnostic at the moment, so we are not like the way that we change the color. I think we have two hard-coded change of color. So as you can see in the video, so it's not a kind of like professional scientific thing because we didn't have a kind of use case that would tell us that I cannot see this. Can you replace this because I can't see this? These are the things that were out of the scope of this proof of concept. But in terms of the scope that we can do it, I think we could show that we can do these sort of things and this sort of application very easily with the current platform. And in addition to that, I think Jun briefly mentioned that we had planned to use other APIs, like metrics. Maybe we can have like more secure situation, like for example, in terms of the things that's happening in one specific location. As you remember from the first scenario, when we are like broadcasting some content, we don't need security. But what will happen if you are inside this place and we want to broadcast a meeting? So we had that plan to do it, but it was out of the scope. Yeah.
Do you think if you'd actually focused on one challenge instead of trying to cover three, it actually would have been more?
Actually, if you see it, we tried to regenerate the challenge out of the three challenges, and we were focusing on that. And as I said, like what we saw is we have people with limitation. This limitation can come from children, can come from very old people, or it can come from people with some diseases and sicknesses. How we can solve it? So we need to give a solution that can be as simple to implement and useful to, as well. So we try to do that, which is just the challenge that we are covering, which has relation with the three challenges that we have.
Yeah, very cool. One last one. You actually brought up some really good use cases around sort of, especially disability in terms of the colour filtering for blind people. There's voice to text recognition.
Yep.
That kind of stuff is going to become very important with the NDIS and some of the disability stuff we've got coming up. Using our platform, it's potentially a viable solution to satisfy some of the requirements around those healthcare environments. So it's something that's probably worth pursuing.
Sure.
Speak with us about the raw frames and how to handle that.
Yep.
But yeah, there is a lot of funding to solve issues around disability from the AIS that are worth considering.
Yeah, and maybe I can add, like in terms of investment, other than the companies, we have a lot of investment coming from the governments in the joint projects between the universities and commercial companies. That if you would like, we can discuss later.
A quick question.
Sure.
Your Roya platform, is it a like operating system or what?
Okay, so actually we skipped that part because of the timing, the warning that we had for the time. So the platform that we have, the idea that we had was we have 3 ways of processing the data in the middle, and it's coming from the discussion that we had yesterday. So one way of doing that is to put the processing engine directly in the cloud, which is a typical way of solving the scalability and processing limitations. The second one, we wanted to use the Raspberry Pi as a gateway, not as a gateway, as a processing engine that can be connected to the internet. So what will happen is when I have my mobile phone and I want to watch a video, very simple use case. When I send this request, it goes to the router. What will happen if the router, instead of sending that to the server, I'm just making it so simplified, send it to the Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi will request the video and will process it and send it to me again. So this is the second approach, and the third one that we wanted to consider was the point-to-point approach, very simple one, that if I have a mobile phone that can do processing, I can do the processing here, which is the one that we use for the prototype.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. So should I unplug the cable from here?
And then it seemed like they were tracking really well, so I have no idea what they're going to present. I look forward to being surprised. They swap cables out to now shorter ones. Now, will we swap out? I don't know. Is that maybe the speaker? You've got a DisplayPort adapter, one right here, or USB-C?
That's USB-C.
I don't know. You want to help with something there without HDMI?
So you need if you have a USB-C, is this? Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah. So you're online. Yeah. All right, so Team Comrades.
Yes. Hi guys, we're Team Comrades, and we're going to be using the Matrix API, Video I/O, Telstra, and also Oracle systems.
So we are taking challenge 1 to bring optimism and hope and resilience to families with children who are ill. And this is Steph. Steph suffers from a liver disease, which means she can't eat a lot of things and she feels fatigue all the time. While her family and friends are very loving and supportive to her, Steph still feels very alone because she feels like she's alone in her problems and no one understands her. As her family and friends cannot properly empathize.
So our solution is to create a platform which allows easy discovery for children and mentors who have suffered the same illness to connect to each other, and children and parents of those children will be able to find diverse mentors through browsing through our system, and also form a community that they can engage in, and just connect to people that also suffer the same illnesses to feel relatable to. And also it's going to be a curated mentor system, and so it'll be really safe, and the children will be safe in general, and the chat system is going to have an algorithm in which only viable comments that can be posted. So essentially how it's going to work is the children will find a chat room in which they join with the mentors, and will have up to, say, 4, for instance, an arbitrary number, they can limit it, and they will have an interaction slash a conversation, and then more children who also want to join in the live stream will be able to participate through text as well.
So for Steph's case, by using this service, she can connect to multiple mentors who also has liver disease, and as well as interact with other children who shares her experiences. Our site's format's beneficial as they have a more personal conversation as it's face-to-face, as well as serving multiple children with the chat room format. Steph, by being able to talk face-to-face with mentors, she will have more hope in that she can live her life as a normal child, and as well and live her life with minimal disruption from her illness. The mentors, as it's through video chat, can also put on puppet shows and other shows to entertain the children and connect with them.
So especially since this is a system that's online, it'll be more effective than one-on-one interactions with the mentors, as we can expand for rare illnesses in which children, it's hard to find someone to connect to. With this platform, it empowers them to easily find someone more relatable as well. And we'll show you a quick demo of generally how it'll flow through the website. So it's going to be a website in which Steph wants to log in just to browse through potential live streams that are on at the time. So she'll log in with her email address. And then she'll be brought to the page where she can browse for mentors. And they'll have a list of mentors that will be live at this moment. And also, if she scrolls down, there'll be upcoming scheduled events for mentors in which she can click the book button, and she'll get a text message when the live stream will happen. So she will now scroll up, and she wants to attend this live stream, and she'll be brought to the page in which she can connect to the mentors directly, and more participants can also join in the conversation to directly chat to the mentors.
So we've had the tyranny of demos. Sorry, I'm just calling
you did do. We've got a mock-up of the page in case. So going forward, yeah, so essentially it's going to look something like this, in which we have the mentor on the left-hand side, and we'll have mentees which can join in, and there'll be a limited number, and the main interaction will happen between the mentor and the mentees, and participants and spectators can view the interactions that will happen. They'll be able to have a community in which they genuinely feel like they understand their situation. And so moving forward, we have moving forward, with technologies, we use VidAI for the video integration, Matrix for a secure platform for the chat. We use Telstra SMS for the notifications, and also Oracle databases to update the schedules and pull them out to show the users, essentially. So going forward, we have some aspects on growth. We will contact the hospitals and non-for-profit organizations to arrange some mentors that we could perhaps have volunteer for our platform, and also get a base of children that we could help out. And in turn, the children will eventually grow up, and perhaps if they feel like volunteering as well, they'll be able to continue the cycle in which they keep helping children and they grow up and they'll help other children. And in terms of scalability, we can extend this platform for more than just the children. So we'll also have, for instance, a platform that could serve business people that also want mentorship, or want someone that have the same ideologies as them, in which they just want to listen in on. And we'll be taking questions. Thank you.
You got a question over the side there?
Yeah. So you're actually going to do this? The reason why I'm asking this is that I was talking to the Aboriginal group and they were talking about mentors, so that would be a good idea for me.
Yeah, we're looking into the technical aspects of it and just seeing how it'll go in general.
I'll give you my email afterwards.
Yeah.
Cool, that'd be great. Yeah, because we still have to learn some of the technology that we're going to use.
Well, you can have an email, and if you don't know,
yeah, no worries.
Do you think
that's why we were thinking about it.
Do you think you could build a generic application that you could actually reskin for different use cases? Like, yeah, you're focused on the mentoring for healthcare, but where you mentioned for mentoring for business, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. The general structure of it would remain quite similar. Obviously, for different target audiences, you need some different aspects to draw them in to stand up from a generic application. So we're starting off small now, just so we can hone in on a strength and get some experience and its market segment as well.
Will you possibly expand it so that some of the children could communicate with each other as well, or is it purely a child to mentor interaction?
Yep. So for now, it requires a mentor to guide the children to converse with each other, and obviously, since the children will also join the chat room with the mentors, they can discuss it with themselves as long as the mentor is also monitoring them.
And also so that they could have some recreational activities during the call, where you could have a puppet show or something, so that to cheer them up in a way. And they could talk amongst themselves because it would be a group chat, and we could allow, we could have a maximum limit of children who could join a call at the moment.
Yeah, so we want to keep it at least with a mentor, just to make sure everything's going fine. The mentors are going to be curated and interviewed, for instance, so the children won't have any. You won't go off track and perhaps do things that they're not meant to.
Something you mentioned day one that I think you de-scoped probably smartly, because focus on doing one thing and do it well, right? Was around testimonials. So that might be something you could mention in this space.
I mean, people who suffered from the same kind of conditions. Obviously, they could join in, but initially, so that there are no extra elements that could disrupt the whole service system, we could allow them via an NGO to probably authenticate them so that there are no required elements.
One recommendation I'd put in is don't have John Wick as one of the people to talk about. That dude is definitely nuts. But yeah, thanks a heap, guys. Great.
Cool. So thanks, comrades. Feel odd saying that, but okay. So last but definitely not least, we have. I think we ended up with iVirtually there as a name. There was a lot of discussion around what names were going to be. So you got to put sort of notes, probably so you're not blocking the shot, but yeah, that way it'll all work out. So.
Hi,
What was the name?
So this is iVirtually there.
iVirtually there.
It sort of changed every time I walked into the room, so. But it's set in stone now. It's written in the email I sent telling me who was presenting when, so you can't change it anymore.
I won't, I promise. Okay, so
This is good. Was that,
you
was
guys
that
did
you doing that, or?
Yeah, I did that because
Okay.
I don't have it on my own screen. Oh, yeah, so just to clarify that we didn't address our team didn't address one of the challenges, so we have our own problem statement and solution.
All right. Good afternoon. Good morning, sharks. Our app is iVirtually there. Basically, we enable fans to better engage with celebrities. That's the purpose of this product. Now, let me tell you a story. I love Michael Jordan. I have a friend that loves Michael Jordan, and he wants to get all his shoes. So this story begins with being able not to actually go to an event, or let me rephrase that, go try on clothes or shoes, okay? So Michael Jordan's presenting, okay, and he's presenting a holographic presentation, but Bob can't be there, okay? So Bob can't go, but they have this new shoe release, okay? So we're excited about the shoe release. So Bob logs on, downloads the app, goes into the bot, and then starts fiddling around with the bot and the app and says, okay, hey, let me order these shoes, but I don't want to go down and actually try them on. So what happens is Bob goes in and starts messing around like I'm talking myself, I'm a little nervous, but he goes in and starts virtually, puts his headset on and he puts his shoes on, okay? And then he buys them, right? So basically, Bob downloads our app. He gives a unique, he's given a unique number provided by Telstra. He signs in and he searches for the event for Michael Jordan, and we live stream the hologram event, and it's sponsored by video. And the chat box that comes up is presented by our sponsor, Oracle. And he tries the shoe on in our VR closet and then orders the shoes, okay? So then we have the live demo that comes up. So he signs in, puts his password in, search for the event, and there's Michael Jordan.
Can you zoom that in a little bit?
And then we also have options to have a live streaming video of Michael Jordan giving a presentation, and then the virtual closet, and then you can order the shoes. So now we have SMS capabilities, because when you download the app, Michael Jordan will be given a number, and then you'll be given a number to interact with Michael Jordan, and he can SMS text you, he can MMS text you, and that's provided by Telstra. And there's a chat box that's provided there as well by Oracle, and you're giving a unique number provided by Telstra, and the live streaming video is provided by Video. And the scalability that we're going to be looking at is the fashion industry. So, yeah, and then our unique differentiation is the celebrity effect and the VR effect. So, any questions?
I know this might seem like a weird question.
Yeah.
Do you actually end up with the shoes? Or do you see yourself in the shoes?
You see yourself in the shoes. Sorry, I screwed this thing up, but that's all right.
That's okay.
Basically, when you put the headset on, you virtually will try on the clothes or the shoes. All right, I kind of got nervous on that, so excuse me on that one. But that's what happens. Then you can order it. Then you can go back to the bot and put the code in, and then order the shoes, and they'll be sent out to you. But what we're doing here is that's what's going on. Yeah. So. All right, thank you.
Okay, cool. So that sort of concludes our pitch sessions. I hope I haven't missed someone. If I have, I assume you'll yell at me. But looks like I've seen everyone up here, and so thanks everyone for all the pitches you got. Good. Thanks for putting in all the sort of hard work, scurrying around, refining ideas, throwing ideas away, cutting heaps of code, building out a bunch of prototypes and wireframes and things, and all that sort of hard work really showed through when we saw your pitches there. I don't know who, if anyone from the judging panel wants to speak for a little bit around what the process is going to be now, because I'm kind of hoping that you'll take the lead on this one. So
no problem. Just the really high strokes. Everybody, please, of course, stick around outside, grab some drinks, and be social. The judges will scurry away and deliberate about all of your fabulous efforts. We'll reconvene in about 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
For prizes.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll duck outside. These guys can hang out here, and then once they've sort of reconvened, I assume.
Sorry.
I tried to throw you a bone there, but you were just like, you were in the moment. Another question, which was like, so, you know, what about the love fraction? One of the first things that you mentioned was, oh yeah, so we can also get like new broadcasting. I was like, who put like a picture with like a plate on it? That's all about it. That was how I got to consider it. We had that discussion. I appreciate the whole bunch of
No, I go to school. You're in school? Yeah. Okay, for photography, what do you do?
No, I'm 16, so I still go to like.
Oh, you're 16?
Yeah.
I think you're like a grown man.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, so what do you want to get into?
Music probably.
Music? What kind? Like you play violin or?
Guitar.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
Because I want to be a superstar.
Oh,
I'm watching my product.
okay.
It's super fast, it's made to decompress stuff really well, it's solving problems. Like, use 70% accuracy. You have to go to the Yeah, we can. Yes, you can just email me and our address.
No, not just us, but they saying that means so the queue is up, it's down. Actually, I saw that somewhere. I think like he circled. There was serious discussion. assignments I'm getting 100% all the time. Like, oh, easy. That's like, oh, yes.
it's mentor curated, and it's not like a mentor. You see, my mom, I see Silicon Valley mom. I it depends on how much you break the text up. If you do, it's like, so for me, because there's four months in the industry,
Given your like expertise. Some Instagram shots.
So we don't have any magical language results in that. Given we've got a camera now, I think we're ready to do the presentation. Yeah. Okay. So we had a number of prizes we could give here, and I touched upon those prizes when I was introducing the pictures when I was discussing yesterday. But just to recap, we've got a prize for the location, which is around user sponsored technology, right? I'm not using our challenges and locations.
It was.
Yep. Okay, if you want to run through it. Oh, perfect, cool. So we have a local location prize for a hack in Melbourne that was showcasing basically sort of global sponsored technology, looking at how they're doing things. And remember that every entry in this also goes up to the global sponsors to be judged globally around their use of their technology. So I'm just giving the local ones for Melbourne, but there's also the global sponsors can give prizes based on what's happened sort of across the entire world. So we've got a location prize locally for our best hack here that uses global sponsor technology. Also, we had the number of Oracle challenges that were issued for the location, which a number of you tackled. So there's a prize for executing against those challenges. We've also got a creativity prize, basically around something that we thought was interesting. Maybe it was a little bit odd, but definitely worth taking note of and definitely worth recognizing, as well as a couple of sort of runners-up prizes for locally for things that were good but may not have necessarily gone against those other criteria or sort of status or being sort of the first place around the location. So first things first, I want to announce the location prize, which was around the use of global sponsor technology, and that one goes to the Team Banana Exchange. Yes. Congratulations, guys. I presume there will be hugs for your off-site people. So I would award you with things, but most of the prize is we take down your contact details so that we can contact you about how we award you things. So we'll come through. We can take a picture. Okay.
We like our banana so much.
Yeah, that's true. So Team Banana Exchange has kindly offered to exchange all the banana bread, presumably for not banana bread, but. Thanks. We can Photoshop in your actual. So great work. If you guys want to chat to Tanya and make sure she's got the right contact information so she can reach out to you guys. So for our challenge prize, around the challenge that was presented locally, our award there goes to a group that really focused upon how they can deliver sort of the highest value around one of those two challenges, and that goes to the Comrades. So
Good work, guys. Good work.
Good work.
We can get photos of those people that seem to be, okay. Marcus has taken over with a real camera instead of just a camera. So good work, guys.
I'll send it to you guys.
Congratulations.
So as with the other guys, just make sure Tanya has your correct details. Most of them will run at registration, so just make sure those are aligned so we can get in contact with you about how to get prices out to you.
Our next prize is the creativity prize, and this is one for some really innovative ideas which a lot of people, or we particularly, haven't thought of. And so one of the teams came up with a great idea with regards to cameras and using blindness and how we can better facilitate for the people that have colour blinded. So I'd like to thank the team, Roya. Welcome.
There's a lot of really good ideas in there. Yes. Sweet. Thank you. We've got.
Yeah, that's good.
So stick around after this because I think we want to take a group photo as well. I don't know how we'll all fit us in, but that's a problem for not me to solve.
And if you have a prize, come and see me so I can mark you off the list.
Yeah. So make sure you touch base with Tanya. Prizes. Yeah, we do. We want to
Can you just Comrade next to the person's name?
Yeah. So our other prize is for a runners-up team that was one team and then became two teams. So we didn't think it was fair to sort of split you in half with regards to prizes because both of the things that you put forward are really good. They tackle a lot of the different aspects of the challenges in really different ways. So I don't know how you prefer to combine your name, but EzyHealth ComNect or ComEasy, something like that. So congratulations to both of them. So if you guys want to come up, we can sort of take photos and we can make sure your details are right. So that was the
Roya, here we go.
Well, I got a I've also got a 70 to 300 mil lens, really good for getting up to yeah, probably. I think about 300 of this and then the big lens.
So thanks to everyone. Congratulations to those who won prizes. Congratulations to those who didn't. There's a bunch of really cool stuff. Once these guys are sort of finished taking down notes to make sure the details are correct, we'll probably just hang around with a photo and then feel free to run if you need to. But it was great having you all here.
Just so that you're not getting it in the middle.
Windsor, where's Windsor? Oh, Windsor's here. I think the door probably
You're
Yeah, so another question, I think only applies to you, but if you're committing to a reservation, then you're responsible to make sure yeah, so on our run sheets, we have these flags. It's like,
then we someone, but because it's like here, maybe I can't.
Thank you.
Mine did the same thing.
Actually, one, two, like actually, this actually takes to be.
Maybe you can show them.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, like I mean, like Cascade Premium.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. A little more. Yeah. One, two. Yeah, that's probably yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think they want to have it. Oh, me? Yes. Fine. I didn't do it. Yeah. No, the video man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the advice.
Yeah. Maybe I'll take one to the remote there, so we can schedule something. So, yeah, practice.
I'm kidding.
Gonna take a profit before. Yeah, once you get it done.
You gotta pitch the we were both surprised. Sorry.
You guys work about it?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Just look at this. Are you sure?
I can email you guys there. I've got a camera if you want me to take a look at that one. I can email you on phones or whatever's easier. Alright, you get 2 here on one side and 2 on the other. Oh yeah. Excellent work. How's it going?
So you're gonna move it.
So yeah, what do you think of first half? I'm an engineer. Yeah, I work for the band. But yeah, it's good. You guys all uni students? Yeah. What are you studying? Electrical engineering. I'm part of the Electric Energy Society, which is like the Engineering Australia. Yeah. They're always looking to take on students, so it's a good networking opportunity. Yeah. Like what they do. Thank you. Oh. It's like good. Once you get up there into the real world, it's like, oh, we can do all these things. Crazy. There's a website. It's called, I think it's called like all the robots take my job.
Relatively like light touch on the whole harassment thing.